nobody's really sure yet. CATL just announced these new batteries yesterday, and we're still waiting for a lot of details to come out.
What NIO is trying to do is build an all-electric car that's also a luxury car.
One can't doubt the seriousness of China regarding electric vehicles. This massive investment in constructing the world's largest charging network wasn't an accident, but a result of an explicit strategy by industry giants and a government committed to EV supremacy. While the West is mostly speaking and providing legislation, Beijing has been quite practical, especially in providing significant financial support and incentives, thereby creating a healthy ecosystem for the electric vehicle industry to be established and to keep multiplying. Before we dive into China's groundbreaking advancements in swappable batteries, let's take a moment to understand the silent powerhouse that fuels our modern world. Batteries. What really goes on inside these tiny, energy-packed marvels? Let's break it down. Inner workings of a battery. Batteries are common components of our daily lives. We encounter them constantly, yet few of us truly comprehend their inner workings. Modern batteries are essentially chemical reactors. They store reactive substances that generate a direct electric current when activated. Lithium-ion batteries, commonly found in automobiles, laptops, and mobile devices, consist of 4 fundamental elements. First, there are cathode and anode electrodes present within the electric vehicle battery.
Chinese automakers are going to come here eventually, and they're going to do it regardless of if there's a tariff or not.
This current runs across the aforementioned elements externally through a similar circuit system. Secondly, there is the separator, essentially a porous membrane blocking the touching of the cathode and the anode directly to each other. And lastly, an electrolyte makes this tug-of-war go both ways, with the shifting electrons between the cathode and the anode. Now that we've cracked open the science of batteries, let's see how one company is flipping the script on how we use them. Imagine swapping out your EV battery faster than you can grab a coffee. Enter NIO's revolutionary battery-as-a-service model, changing the rules and redefining convenience in electric vehicles. NIO's BAS. NIO's battery swapping technology has been the game-changer in the electric vehicle sector. The company has reportedly set up more than 2,800 quick battery replacement stations worldwide. The stations provide users with a rapid way of charging their vehicles without having to spend hours in waiting lines. The technology helps car owners change the spent batteries with new ones within a time frame of about 3 minutes, which is much faster than taking a quick coffee break. NIO's battery-as-a-service model changes the game by detaching car purchases from that of a battery. A client does not buy a vehicle with a built-in battery. Instead, it purchases the car without the battery, thereby considerably dropping the upfront EV cost. This is further enhanced as owners can rent the batteries, thus making it more affordable and agile. The BAS model is, therefore, a subscription system in which customers are charged a fee on a month-to-month basis for the usage of the battery, instead of purchasing the battery outright.
China has become the world's largest auto exporter.
In addition to decreasing the initial price of the purchase of the vehicle, the option to switch up or downgrade the battery size according to preference is also available. For example, switching from a 70 kilowatt-hour battery to a 100 kilowatt-hour battery would increase monthly costs as capacity varies, and so would the energy use. NIO's BAS service goes beyond simple battery leasing, offering a service package that includes rapid battery swap. Used batteries are swapped at purpose-built stations in less than 5 minutes and replaced with a fully charged one that can offer a range of as high as 380 miles. Flexible subscription packages. Subscription to a pack of various capacities suitable for travel needs ensures optimal performance without excess cost. Seamless charging experience. NIO has put up charging stations across China to complement its battery swap infrastructure for added convenience. Cost-effective. Against traditional charging methods for EVs, such as Tesla superchargers giving 200 miles of range in 15 minutes, the BAS model by NIO is marginally cheaper at 8.3 pence per mile against the Tesla supercharger at 8.6 pence per mile. Technological innovation. The NIO's BAS system involves high technology in swapping the batteries, which, within a minute, replaces the batteries for the car while preserving the battery's health and its performance. Environmental benefits. With BAS models, the process of charging gets centralized and hence is efficiently consumed with lower energy usage and carbon emissions per mile than in conventional EV models. Scalability. NIO had installed more than 800 battery swap stations in China as of January 2022, and this seems to have scalability with regard to this new way of owning an electric vehicle. NIO's BAS model overcomes some of the key challenges in the EV market, including cost barriers, range anxiety, and infrastructure limitations. It separates battery ownership from vehicle purchase, making EV ownership more accessible and flexible, which may speed up the transition to electric vehicles and contribute to a more sustainable transportation sector. Battery swapping process. To initiate the battery exchange process, one simply has to enter into the navigation system to guide oneself to a specific battery exchange location. This can be done through either the mobile application or the vehicle's onboard computer, much like how Tesla owners use the navigation feature to find supercharger stations. The process is remarkably simple and straightforward. As the vehicle approaches the battery exchange station, it automatically joins a virtual queue. If you are first in this virtual line of cars, your vehicle will let you know when it is time to go into the battery exchange. To carry out the exchange, you simply drive into the allocated area in front of the battery exchange station. Locate a white rectangular marker on the ground. Once you're properly aligned, the system will guide you through the touchscreen interface. All that's needed is a simple nod at this point using the touchscreen. Your vehicle will then take over, automatically maneuvering into the correct position within the exchange bay. The system will now prompt you to take your vehicle to park mode. A second notification will appear on the screen, asking you to confirm your readiness to execute the power exchange. With one touch of the touchscreen, this step will be done.
I call it the Great Godzilla. The world has never seen an auto industry.
Now, all you need to do is wait patiently. The entire process typically takes approximately 5 minutes from start to finish. Once completed, simply shift your vehicle back into drive mode and continue on your journey. In terms of complexity, the entire procedure involves no more than 3 taps on the touchscreen interface at various stages of the process. This includes initiating the sequence from your starting point until the battery exchange is complete, plus 2 brief interactions with the gear shift, placing it in park upon arrival and shifting back to drive once the exchange is finished. For comparison, most drivers are capable of operating these basic functions without difficulty. After all, if you can operate a radio tuner or adjust the air conditioning settings on your touchscreen interface, you should have no trouble navigating this straightforward power exchange process. Essentially, if you can drive a car safely and effectively, you will find doing a power transference with NIO to be a phenomenally effortless and irritation-free affair. The whole process requires very little work and knowledge by the driver, making it feasible even for those with no appreciation of high-tech automotive engineering. To better explain the simplicity of this process, consider that it requires fewer steps than most routine driving tasks. For example, changing a radio station usually requires more complex interactions with the touchscreen interface than what is required for this power exchange procedure. Similarly, adjusting the temperature control often requires multiple taps and swipes across the screen, which is still less complicated than the straightforward battery exchange process described here. In conclusion, the NIO Power Exchange system has been designed with user-friendliness as its primary focus. By minimizing the number of required inputs and simplifying each step of the process, the developers have created a system that's accessible to drivers of all skill levels. Whether you're familiar with advanced automotive technology or just learning the ropes, you'll find this power exchange procedure to be remarkably easy and efficient. If you thought NIO's battery swapping was impressive, wait until you see how another industry giant is raising the stakes. Geely isn't just refining the process, it's revolutionizing it, tackling the biggest challenges of EV ownership with speed, convenience, and a whole new vision for the future of charging. Geely, China's most important privately owned automotive group, is leading a paradigm shift in electric vehicle charging through the revolutionary battery swapping technology of ZEEKR. This could change the whole concept of recharging for EV owners, faster, more convenient, and maybe even more cost-effective. Geely's battery swapping technology aspires to give drivers the ability to switch out spent packs for fully charged ones in minimal time without needing common plug-in charging solutions. This new direction taken by the business tackles 3 critical problems facing the EV sector. Faster charging speed. Whereas most of the more traditional methods take anywhere from 15 minutes to over an hour, Geely's system aims to do it in just 5 minutes. Increased convenience. The rapid swap eliminates long charging sessions and gets drivers back on the road faster than ever before. Economical. This model might just unlock longer life cycles for EVs and lower long-term costs for consumers by decoupling battery maintenance from vehicle ownership. Ambitious expansion plans. Geely plans to cover China with an extensive network of stations that will allow for the swapping of batteries for electric vehicles. In a revelation, it had mentioned that 5,000 such stations would be established worldwide by 2025. It currently operates about 300 stations, which continue to increase through expansions either on its own or as strategic investments in other companies. This large-scale deployment is the most important thing to make this technology widely acceptable. With swap stations put in thousands of locations, Geely will be creating a frictionless refueling experience for the ZEEKR owners across the country. With Geely's bold expansion, battery swapping is set to shake up the EV industry. But how will this reshape the market? Let's dive in. Industry impact. Geely's foray into the field of battery swapping is important on many counts. Market disruption. This technology has the potential to disrupt established players like Tesla by offering faster charging times and more flexible ownership models. Standardization efforts. Geely is forcing a swappable standard through collaboration with NIO, and that is already available to several manufacturers. Ecosystem development. A battery swap network uniformly created for this deal between Geely and NIO can even change the face of the EV industry going forward 35.
0 to 60 miles per hour in about 3 seconds.
Technological development. Geely is not only investing in the facility infrastructure, but also significantly investing in research and development on battery swapping technology. Advanced battery cells. Geely has teamed up with WeLion to install NIO's 150 kWh batteries with advanced semi-solid state cells that boast higher energy density than Tesla's 46 and 80 cell batteries. Better range performance. The battery packs that will be assembled for NIO's ET7 will reportedly exceed the 600-mile single charge capability, as reported from Tesla's battery range performance. Challenges and future prospects. Although promising, Geely's battery swapping system faces various challenges, including the build-out of the infrastructure. Investment and coordination will go a long way in building an enormous network of swap stations. Regulatory framework. Governments may need to develop regulations and standards to support this new technology. Consumer adoption. Educating consumers about the benefits of battery swapping technology will be crucial for its widespread acceptance. Yet Geely's very aggressive expansion and partnerships with many other industry players suggest that these people are also confident about its potential.
They're not ready, but then for BYD, we are ready.
Geely's battery swapping system for ZEEKR is one of the innovations in EV charging technology. It has the possibility of changing how we view the ownership and recharging of electric vehicles with ambitious expansion plans and collaborations with major industry players. As the market for EVs continues to evolve, the commitment of Geely to this technology will be an important driver in increasing adoption and enhancing the user experience for owners of electric vehicles. CATL. China's CATL, the world's largest EV battery producer, has just announced an ambitious plan to significantly scale up its battery swap infrastructure starting next year. The company has mapped plans for 1,000 swap stations across China, including Hong Kong and Macau, and will be targeting the building of a capacity for 10,000 facilities by considering collaborations with various partners. Indeed, this could place CATL as a strong contender within the battery swapping space if this actually materializes to compete, so to say, with NIO, the Chinese EV maker that has already installed more than 2,700 swap sites with plans for at least 5,000. Swapping the batteries is a fresh way to recharge EVs, allowing drivers to refuel quickly by exchanging a dead battery for a fully charged one at a swap station. It's designed to be just about as seamless as filling up a conventional gasoline-powered vehicle using automated technology that swaps out the batteries. This, therefore, means there is absolutely no wasted time for drivers as they wait for their batteries to recharge, the main advantage over traditional means of charging. With heavy incentives from both the government and investment in infrastructure, China has emerged as a leading player in EV technology. The size and scale of this rollout are unprecedented in any other market. Meanwhile, NIO pioneered battery swapping in Northern Europe with approximately 60 stations. There's no similar network outside China. CATL's announcement underlines the particular opportunities that the Chinese market offers for such initiatives. Battery swapping, home charging, and public charging stations will each take a share of the market in the year 2030, CATL CEO Robin Zhang said at a high-profile event in Fujian province, home to its headquarters. According to Zhang, all corporate partners should work together to build more convenient, more economical, and safer services for customers and push a brand new lifestyle. In any case, there is significant potential for great challenges to be faced by battery swapping. One of the main challenges involves the standardization of battery designs. Most EV models have their own type of battery configuration, which complicates the achievement of a universal mechanism of swapping for vehicles to make use of swap stations. They must be equipped with compatible technology, which limits the number of models that may participate in such networks. In contrast, electric vehicles in China use standardized charging connectors and can be charged at any station across the country. In addition, better fast charging technology has cut the time needed to recharge, further eroding the business case for swapping batteries. Jing Yang, a director at FIT Ratings who covers China's automotive and renewable energy sectors, also pointed to the reluctance of car makers to embrace standardized battery packs. Automakers may be afraid that this is going to cause too much control of their supply chain to go to others. She also stated that already, in a rapidly developing specification and technologies for EVs, it would introduce yet another hurdle of infrastructure in relatively less wide use, which is the swapping of batteries. However, Yang said some car makers may see battery swapping as a way to increase sales, and working with established players like CATL or NIO could help reduce costs. Since most battery swapping models decouple battery ownership from vehicle ownership, this removes the upfront cost of the battery, the most expensive component of an EV, and makes electric vehicles more affordable for consumers. According to Le Xing, an analyst monitoring China's auto market, the country already has an extensive network of chargers to which battery swapping can be added. I don't see it becoming mainstream, he said, but I do see it becoming a key part of that infrastructure landscape. Michael Davidson, a renewable energy expert at the University of California, San Diego, seems to corroborate the same opinion. He thinks that charging will keep dominating, while swapping may find its supportive role mainly in specific use cases of fleet vehicles, such as taxis, buses, and commercial trucks. The technology, for the most part, lends itself best to vehicles that stick to standardized designs and run on fixed routes. CATL started its pilot program testing for battery swapping on taxis 2 years ago and says that it will keep focusing on fleet vehicles before opening sales to individual car owners. According to JN Kai, deputy president of CATL's battery swapping subsidiary, time efficiency is a significant advantage of battery swapping, particularly for fleet operators. Swapping a battery at CATL's Zogo-branded stations takes just 100 seconds, according to Yang Jun, CEO of the subsidiary. This speed is especially valuable for taxi and truck drivers, whose income depends on minimizing downtime. Le Shen said that time is money for such drivers. Thus, it is well worth paying a higher cost for swapping than traditional charging. Wang Wuing is a driver for China's popular Didi ride-hailing service. He drives a car equipped with Evogo. He tried using an Evogo station in Shenzhen and says he uses battery swapping because it saves time for the continued picking up of customers. With this, he has admitted that it would be pricier compared with charging, which could deter drivers from using the service. Swapping batteries isn't a new idea. The concept gained a lot of attention in the US almost 2 decades ago with the failed startup Better Place. However, companies such as Ample are revisiting the idea and starting with the ride-hailing market. That's where the company's technology promises to swap batteries in just 5 minutes, a pretty good selling point for an Uber or Lyft driver anxious to keep earning money on the road instead of sitting around waiting for even the fastest charging session. Both CATL and NIO have signed deals to integrate their respective swap stations with the ecosystems of automobile manufacturers. Successful networks depend on how many of those automakers and drivers adopt the technology to make the stations economically viable. For its part, while swapping has limited applicability, it can be an important supplement to charging infrastructure and find particular niches for applications. hence worth adding to an EV ecosystem. Only with the continuing network expansions by CATL and NIO in the years to come will it become apparent whether a sustainable niche has been set up by the swapping of batteries within the rapidly changing world of electric mobility. As CATL and BAIC join forces, could this be the breakthrough the EV industry has been waiting for? Let's uncover the details behind this game-changing partnership. CATL and BAIC partnership. Recently, two of the most influential Chinese companies, CATL and BAIC, announced a revolutionary partnership that will catalyze the mass adoption of EVs in China. But what exactly are the two corporations working on, and how can the approach of their innovative company be important for the West? Speaking of that, let's delve deeper into the development. According to a spokesperson of China's NDRC, on June 18th, the country recorded 9.92 million units of EV charging stations in total, showing an increase of 56% compared to the same period last year. That is a tremendous number and includes both public and private charging stations. The public charging stations meant for any EV owner total 305 million units and have grown 46% year over year. The remaining units, amounting to 687 million, are private charging facilities, mostly at homes or workplaces, and grow at an incredible rate of 61%. This holistic approach itself testifies to the Chinese commitment to meet both public and private EV charging demands. In this journey of development, the simultaneous collaboration of two industrial giants from China is added. CATL and BAIC Group. On the 18th of June, they inked a cooperation deal that would mark a revolution in the electric vehicle realm. This joint venture unites CATL's leadership in battery technology and BAIC's experience in vehicle manufacturing, a powerhouse of potential for electric cars in the future. It will be pushing the boundaries of EV technology to explore new battery chemistries and manufacturing techniques that can greatly increase the range and efficiency. It will also work on the installation of a standardized charging infrastructure across China, which would seamlessly be interoperable with different EV models. That might just be a ticket to a nationwide network of high-speed charging stations, enabling the charging of EVs much faster and their practical usage over long distances. China has kept its lead in the EV global market, and Western countries seem to take great interest in observing the same. Several of them started to feel that their approach towards the acceptance of EVs might need a second look. Offering huge financial backing and incentives, China has given a favorable atmosphere where rapid EV adoption is possible without customers facing any kind of problem with regard to infrastructure limitations. This model might be replicated by other countries to speed up their transition towards electric transport. The reasons that China's model might not work in every country are due to other countries' economies, infrastructures, and regulation conditions. As the world waits with bated breath for news about climate change and air pollution, there can be little doubt that inferences to be drawn from China's EV strategy will form a significant part of global energy policymaking. China's commitment to electric vehicles will affect far beyond its borders, either by direct imitation or adaptation in the shaping of future transportation globally. Battery swapping is mainly the promising solution to one of the most serious concerns facing EV drivers: long and cumbersome charging times. Just think of this: having a dead battery replaced by a fully recharged one in the wink of an eye, just as easily as one refuel at a conventional gasoline station. Such is the tantalizing prospect presented by battery swapping technology. These two pioneering companies will now work together to create special electric vehicles with a view to battery swapping. Advanced vehicles in the near future will most likely have standardized compartments for batteries that could be accessed swiftly and efficiently to swap them with freshly charged units. This collaboration between the two may eventually result in a much wider range of models being offered for the latest generation of battery swapping stations and making this revolutionary technology more available to consumers. The main factor that will determine the success of the battery swapping concept is the development of a strategically located network with easily accessible replacement batteries. Most probably, CATL and BAIC will further pursue standardized battery packs, that is, units in modular form, which could work in most types of EV models. Secondly, they will have to determine highly effective processes for distribution and management regarding this module of the battery, so that they will constantly be available with swapping stations as and when required. Strategic partnership and innovation. The partnership between CATL and BAIC is much more than just passenger cars. Their deal also covers the development, sales, and leasing of heavy-duty trucks fitted with the latest battery-swapping technology, a quantum leap in the electrification of the most vital part of the trucking industry, which plays a huge role in transportation and environmental impact reduction. CATL is not a new entrant in the battery swapping field. In the year 2022, it launched its premium EVOGO brand, which featured the advanced Choco SCB battery swap solution that enables vehicles to utilize one or several interchangeable modules to meet different mileage options. This should be very appealing to EV drivers whose needs differ from place to place and will, without a doubt, keep raising interest in swapping batteries. With this momentum, CATL recently teamed up with ride-hailing giant Didi. The strategic partnership will see both companies offer comprehensive battery swapping services specifically tailored for electric vehicles operating in the ride-hailing sector. This will go a long way in improving operational efficiency and reducing downtimes for ride-hailing companies, which could mean quicker, more convenient service for passengers. This would not only be a massive push in CATL and BAIC's collaborative efforts to establish battery swapping as a mainstream, workable solution, but also initiatives such as the EVOGO brand by CATL and the partnership with Didi. If it succeeds, this could be the game-changing technology that finally sorts out range anxiety and drastically cuts down charging times, making electric vehicles all the more appealing to consumers and businesses alike. CIC chassis. Long recharging times remain one of the main drawbacks of electric vehicles. Battery swapping technology could reduce the time spent refueling significantly, thus making it easier to accept range anxiety, which has turned many buyers off from electric vehicles. Success for CATL and BAIC in perfecting their respective systems could mean an enormous jump in electric vehicle sales. The CIC chassis aims for balance. It aims to seamlessly integrate all critical EV components, the propulsion system, braking mechanism, steering apparatus, and thermal regulation system, into a unified platform. The advantage of this integrated approach is multifaceted. By using a standardized framework, the automakers save substantial time and resources on research and development. Imagine not having to reinvent the wheel, or, in this case, the chassis, every time a new EV is designed. This will speed up the development cycle and force automobile companies to create and put new models of electric vehicles on the road much faster. Second, reducing R&D expenses reduces general costs, such that EVs will be more accessible to more customers and finally contribute to quicker adoption of electric automobiles overall. Another significant positive aspect related to this new chassis is connected with the accent on the optimal design. It has been designed and developed with the view of maximizing interior space and versatility, which means more comfortable, custom interiors for drivers and passengers in EVs built on this platform in the future. Being roomier inside is the key selling factor for many car owners, and this CIC chassis can make electric vehicles even more appealing to a wide range of car owners. But what does this all mean for the future of electric vehicles? As these partnerships and technologies evolve, let's explore how the industry could transform in the coming years. Future implications for the EV market. As the battery swapping infrastructure continues to build up and technology matures, we should expect that one day, electric vehicles could be nothing less than extremely handy and practical for daily usage, all while being truly ecological. The collaboration between CATL and BAIC epitomizes how a series of complementing synergies between leading industrial players can lead to innovation within the EV vertical by combining their know-how of advanced battery technologies with the more complex vehicle assembly process. These two firms are in a position to revolutionize the conceptualization, production, and utilization process of electric vehicles. But more importantly, the introduction of battery swapping technology into the automotive world could affect the entire transportation industry. As this technology is developed and used more, we might see a paradigm shift regarding the usage and perception of electric vehicles, probably because people may adapt more easily to electric vehicles and create a better ecosystem in terms of sustainability. Further development of standardized protocols for swapping batteries could even make the electric car network much bigger and better. Envision a future where electric car owners will easily replace their dead batteries at strategically located stations across the nation with ease and freedom from range anxiety. making long-distance electric car travel about as easy as it is in conventional gasoline-powered cars. This technology could also have broader impacts beyond individual consumers. Companies running fleets of electric vehicles would likely see huge benefits from widespread battery swapping infrastructure, possibly lowering operational costs and offering a greener corporate image. This, in turn, may encourage further innovation within the EV sector, creating a self-reinforcing cycle of development that quickens the shift toward a more environmentally benign transportation system. That shows quite a large step in the growth of electric vehicle technology within the CATL-BAIC relationship. Powered by their expertise and resource base, industry leaders are placed on a platform to revolutionize our thinking about electric vehicles, and particularly their charging infrastructures. As this technology continues to develop and expand, we can look forward to a future in which electric vehicles are not only environmentally friendly, but also phenomenally convenient and practical for daily use, potentially changing the way we travel and interact with our environment in very fundamental ways. Thank you for taking your time to watch this video. Make sure to like, share, subscribe to our channel, and turn on the notification bell to get more content like this. See you in our next video.